This is going to be a tough one, this video. So, for the people who arrive on my channel for the first time, you must know that I made a lot of videos about Mark Hollis and Talk Talk. And this video is going to be sad because Mark Hollis died on the 25th of February. At least I knew it on the 25th of February. I don't know if it happened that day, but it's when I had the news. So I made a lot of videos about him and his music mostly. He was the singer of Talk Talk. Why? In the 80s I was a fan. I was a fan. I love Talk Talk, but it doesn't mean that I was going to all their concerts and that I was collecting their records or asking for autographs or things like that. I've never been this kind of fan. I just loved their music a lot. But I only bought It's My Life, the album It's My Life, then in the 80s. I actually knew the Party's Over because I found cassettes. You know, things like that. I found a lot that I was recording on the radios, and I found so many songs of Talk Talk before It's My Life. So it was of the album The Party's Over. So obviously I knew them before It's My Life, even though I didn't have their album. And then I didn't buy what followed then. The Color of Spring, I knew it because we could hear the music everywhere. So I knew all the album without even having to buy the album. Time passed, and in 2000, I'm sorry, I have really difficulties to speak today, I'm sorry. In 2005, I got separated with my ex-husband, but in 2009, I came back to Paris to pack my stuff, and we were selling our apartment. And I remember that I was in the middle of my apartment with all the boxes around, and I remember that my ex-husband was kind of in a panic attack because he can't bear when we move and boxes and things like that. And I was sad. I was in my pain because of the situation. I was about to leave France, and I don't know why. I went on my computer, my laptop. I opened YouTube and I searched for Talk Talk, and I found the video of Such a Shame, one of my favorite songs, and I watched this video, which was incredible, and in spite of my pain, it made me laugh. I laughed. And I couldn't stop watching it, and I watched it several times. I couldn't stop, and I was seeing my ex-husband very agitated, and I was in front of my computer and I was watching and laughing, which was kind of absurd then. But it comforted me, really it comforted me. Then when I arrived in the US, I didn't listen to Talk Talk anymore, because when I met my ex-husband, it was the album. I was listening to that in my Walkman all the time. So it was reminding me the period when I met my ex-husband, and I didn't want to be sad again. So I avoided to listen to their music. But in 2014, at a point, there are many music that I couldn't listen. For example, I couldn't listen to Coldplay either, and many other things. So at a point in 2014, I thought, okay, now that's enough. I must live my life. I can't spend my life crying over the past, you know, and I must move on. And I decided to start listening to the musics I loved. And one night I was in my bed, and again I opened my computer, my laptop, and I went back to the Such a Shame video because I remembered how much I laughed on it. And I thought maybe it will make me feel good again. And I spent my night watching this video. I couldn't stop. I was like fascinated because I thought it was incredible what was passing through this video. I loved the music. That was not new. I always loved that song. But suddenly I got more interested in the person, in Mark Hollis. Who was he? Actually, I had known him since years, but I had no idea who he was. So I started searching about him, and it's when I discovered The Color of Spring, but actually I already knew that album because we could hear all the songs of the album everywhere, so it was not new for me. But I didn't know Spirit of Eden, and I didn't know Laughingstock, and I didn't know the solo album. So that is something that I discovered in 2014. And at the beginning, I didn't even want to order the albums because I thought, oh, I love them so much, I'm afraid to be disappointed. But I thought, no, I must know more about them. And so I started listening to the musics on Amazon. You know, you can listen to samples of the songs, and it seemed to me very different, but in the same time I was recognizing the music, I don't know what to say. I want to say the spirit, the love, the style, even though it was not the same style anymore, but kind of a warmth, something in it that I could recognize. And I loved what I heard on Amazon, so I decided to order and one album and the other. I don't remember which one I ordered first. Oh, it could be easy to check on my orders on Amazon. And I couldn't stop listening to these albums, and I loved them, even though it was not as commercial as before, even though it was a different style, even though it was made differently, even though it was not as famous. When I ordered the solo album, I thought, oh, that is probably going to be harsh to like this kind of music, but same thing, I listened to samples and I liked what I heard, and I ordered the album, the solo album, and I loved it. And I thought, that's strange to come from the parties over to the solo album with such a wide range of kind of music and way of doing, and still love absolutely everything. And I thought that is very exceptional. I was talking about that with a friend, an old friend who lives in Paris. We are writing to each other by emails. And he told me, you should do something about that. And I said, do something what? And I already started videos on YouTube, but it was only videos about me driving around LA with some music in the background. And I thought, that's my subject. I should make videos about Mark Hollis and Tok Tok and say to the world how genius he is, how genius the music is, because I thought that it was really very underrated, and I was so enthusiastic for that. And also I was so grateful for him to have made me laugh so much when the time was really sad for me. So somehow I felt like if I was owing him something. So I started in 2014 to make videos about Mark Hollis and Tok Tok, and a lot of people were asking me, but why do you do that? And I was like, I don't know. I don't know if there is a real tangible reason, nothing commercial. Nobody asked me to do that. Nobody asked me to do that. Mark Hollis didn't ask me to do that. The record companies didn't ask me to do that. YouTube didn't ask me to do that. Nobody asked me anything. I just decided like that. And I was not even expecting making some money from that, because I didn't have enough views on YouTube to make some money through YouTube. And it's kind of complicated to make videos about that, because you cannot play the music because of royalties matters. I was, of course, avoiding to play their music on my videos, but also I needed to talk about it and show how wonderful it was. So I did these videos, and more and more and more and more. And then I came across interviews which were fascinating. Not because it's Mark Hollis and Talk Talk, but because what he was saying was fascinating. I love to know how the things are made in art as in music. Oh yes, and I forgot to say the most important. I couldn't paint anymore during years when I got separated with my ex-husband. And when I started listening to all this music, I could paint again. So, of course, I was owing him something. He was talking about things, how the things are made, and I love knowing that. I love the technique behind the art. In music as in painting, in any art, I love to know the technique, how the things work, and he was explaining rather well. And then I thought, but the French people, they don't understand English most of the time, very often, unfortunately. So maybe I should translate that. And people again were asking me, but why do you do that? Are you paid to translate that? And no, I'm not. I was seeing that like a public service. People must know. People must understand what is said. There was even this interview which was translated in French over Mark Hollis' voice. And I thought, okay, so now it's the English people who cannot hear what he's saying. So I retranslated it to English, so English or American people, anyway, people speaking in English could understand it. And I had a lot of people thanking me for doing so, because they never could understand what was said. Some interviews were easy to translate, other ones were difficult because we couldn't hear really well what he was saying, and he had kind of a Cockney accent that I couldn't understand all the time, so I had to repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat, maybe I don't know, 100 times until I could understand, or ask my friend Ron or ask my friend David. And sometimes they couldn't understand either because the sound was really bad and we couldn't really hear what was said. But it was fascinating to do that. I'm glad that I did it. I'm glad that I did it, because I think that if by chance Mark Hollis, at least saw one of my videos, at least he knew that we were appreciating him and that we knew that he was a genius. And I really hope that he saw not my work, that's not the point, but that he saw that people were still waiting for him, that we were still there. The fan base was still there, waiting for him. And I'm glad that I did that then. I did that in 2014, 15, 16, maybe in 17 I didn't do a lot of videos. Yes, because at a point I didn't have enough material to talk about. I want my videos to be interesting. So I cannot do a video just for the sake of doing a video. So I said that I would do videos about Mark Hollis and Tok Tok if I find something interesting to say. And one day, I think in the video, I said it would be great if Mark Hollis was doing something, so I would have something to talk about. It was a way to poke him, you know, to say, hey, do something so I can talk about something. But I didn't think that, I didn't mean that. I mean, for me, the fact that he passed away, I didn't want to talk about something like that. That was not what I was expecting. So when it happened, at least when I knew it, such a weird day. I woke up in the morning, I didn't know anything. I was completely dizzy. I don't know why. I didn't know what I had. And I never drink, so it was not something that I could drink. It was maybe something that I ate, which was not good. I don't know. I woke up completely dizzy, so dizzy that I had to hold myself to the walls to go to the bathroom. And I was worried because I thought, what do I have? And then I thought maybe I have a lack of iron or magnesium or something like that, because it already happened in my life before, so I thought maybe that's it. And then I received a message from a woman who watched my videos. Her name is Veronique, so thank you, Veronique, for that. She told me that Mark Hollis passed away, and I'm so grateful that she did, because otherwise I would have found anonymous alert, Google alert in my email box, and I would have discovered that like that, and it would have been too much, you know, to discover it like that. At least I had someone to talk to. It was someone, really a person, who told me that. It doesn't change a thing, but at least it was more human, I would say. And when I read that, I was such in shock that someone texted me then something which had nothing to do with Mark Hollis, and I was so in shock that I couldn't even recognize the name. I was like, who is this? And it's someone that I see every day. So I was like, oh, wow, that's not better. I was really completely confused, and I couldn't stop crying. And I went to get my mail outside, and my neighbor Anne, she saw me crying, and she told me what is going on. I explained to her, and she's a singer, she plays music too, so she perfectly knew who I was talking about. And she told me, come, I will take you to drink a glass of wine. There is a bar not far from me. We go there and you will drink a glass of wine, you will feel better. The problem is that I basically almost never drink, so a glass of wine in the day, it was at the beginning of the afternoon, and I was still dizzy, so I thought, wow, I'm not going to feel very good. And I decided to accept a glass of cider because it's not very strong, and I thought that it would be better for me. So I felt a little better, honestly. I was a little dizzy, but at least I knew why. and then I was like, I was very confused because I thought, why did I do all these videos? Why? And what am I doing in this story? You know, it was like, it was completely surreal. I was involved in a story, I didn't expect that. and I realized that somehow I was hoping that my videos would make him come back. But it was a total fail, because for sure he will never come back now. So I thought I failed. So why did I do these videos, you know? And I'm a very optimistic and rather positive person, so I like to do things and that it's useful, you know, that it has a purpose. It goes somewhere and with a happy end at the end. I didn't expect that. I didn't want that. I didn't even suppose 1 minute that it would happen. I supposed, I'm not sure, that maybe he was a little depressed because the lyrics are very sad on his solo album. But I mean, the solo album was in 1998, if I remember well. So in the meantime, obviously, he survived, and there was no reason to think that he was depressed now. And anyway, if he had wanted to come back, he could have done that. He didn't need me to come back anyway. It was his decision. Who am I? I'm nobody. I mean, I'm really nobody, you know. I'm not his friend. I don't know him. I'm not his family. I never worked with him. I know nobody who knows him. Do I know anybody who knows him? No. No, I'm thinking because I know a lot of people in music, so it wouldn't be extraordinary. But no, I don't know anybody who knew him. I don't think so. I'm sorry, I had to change of iPhone of camera because the one that I was using didn't have space anymore. So yes, I was saying that I was feeling kind of confused because suddenly I didn't know. Oh, I'm sorry, I see my lamp. Suddenly I realized that I didn't know what was the point of my videos anymore, because I didn't expect something like that at the end. I mean, I didn't do these videos thinking that something was going to happen. Certainly not. I was hoping for a happy end. I realized that lately. I mean, it was not very conscious when I was doing my videos. And it was ridiculous to think something like that. It was very naive of me, because seriously, who am I? Once again, I'm nobody, you know. So why he would have been encouraged by me to come back, especially if he didn't want to come back. That was absurd when I think about it. So then I've been confused during 2-3 days. I was like, it doesn't make sense. I mean, all what I did doesn't make sense. But in the meantime, a lot of people contacted me, thanking me for my videos. There is even someone who told me that he didn't know really well Tok Tok. He only knew them in the 80s, and he discovered all the other albums through my videos. So all that was very touching, and I didn't know that so many people were watching my videos and appreciated them so much. And suddenly I felt like a responsibility. I mean, I had to say something. I had to acknowledge that people were watching my videos, and that somehow I had a role towards the fans. I'm not the only one. A lot of people are doing videos about Mark Hollis and Tok Tok by different manners, you know. Everyone do it by a different way. It's great, actually, because It means that very different people with a different mindset can understand this music and the quality of the music. I would have never thought that I would have to do this video, never. Also, it makes you think of why you live, why you do this, why you do that, what's the point, why do you do some art. So suddenly I was like, oh, there is a painting that I didn't finish. So am I going to finish it? At the beginning it was, no way, no way, I cannot paint anymore again. And then I thought, no, I should finish this painting. I don't know when, but I will have to finish it. And maybe I will have to do more. Just for me, you know, because I have many ideas here and it has to be done. It has to be done. So I don't know if we can call this video a tribute, because I think that my tribute, I did it with all my videos. Not a tribute because he had passed away when I was doing these videos, but because I had to say to the world what genius he was. I had to do it. I don't know why, so now I don't even know why I had to do it, but I had to do it. Very often in my life I did things without knowing why I was doing them, but because I knew that I had to do them. I'm sorry, that is my heater which makes that noise. So there is this information that I was hesitating to give on a video because it was supposed to be a secret. It's about music. It's that I have that. So the name is Uncle. The name of the song is Chaos, and it was made in 1998. Ron, that is Ron Kane's handwriting. He gave me that not a long time before he passed away, Ron. And he told me, but keep it for you because it's a secret. Mark Hollis plays three notes, and wanted his name to be removed from the credits. So I thought, okay, Ron told me it was a secret, and I thought I shouldn't talk about that in my videos. But I have found a link before what happened when they were talking about it. So obviously it was an open secret, and now I see it everywhere. So seriously, don't try to have that. It's just a few notes. Mark Hollis didn't want to be credited for that. We recognize him on the notes, which is kind of incredible. I wanted to talk about that. I found a few links which are interesting. I will put them in my description box for you. Things which are interesting to read, I will put them. Also, I found an interview with Phill Brown. I made a video about him. He's talking about Mark Hollis in this interview. I will put the links also, and listen to the entire interviews. He speaks here and there, at the beginning, in the middle, at the end of Mark Hollis. So it's better to listen to the whole interview. It seems that Mark Hollis was still doing some music, even though we didn't know about it. And listen to the interview. It comforted me to listen to that, because I realized that Mark Hollis was still working in music, and he probably was not depressed, and he was doing some stuff. Listen to the interview, you will see that he was very active. So it's not because we didn't know that nothing happened. Some people asked me if I knew how he died. I don't know. And honestly, if I had a very private information, I wouldn't tell you, because I think that is a very private matter. So the only thing that I read on internet is the official announcement. It was saying that it was a short illness. I don't know what it means, But let's just accept that. What does it change? You know, it's not our business. There is nothing to hide, probably, you know. It's just that they are also people, they are persons, and they are a family, and they want to keep that for themselves. So let's be it. The other day I was walking to the post office, as I do very often, and I found that on the ground, cards, playing cards. I usually never find playing cards on the ground. The only time I found a playing card, it was when I started my videos about Mark Hollis and Tok Tok. I found one playing card on the ground by going to the post office in 2014, just when I started these videos. And the other day, so it was the next day after, you know, I found that. I thought that is so strange, because do you often find playing cards on the ground when you walk in the street? I don't. I found that very strange. And when I came back, I was walking, and there was this sun, which was kind of cool because it's raining a lot these days. And suddenly I looked around, it was sunny. And I thought, tomorrow has already started. Like if nothing happened. Will I continue to do videos about Mark Hollis and Tok Tok? At first I was like, no, I cannot talk about that anymore. And then I thought, why? The music still exists. The music is there. Why wouldn't I? Life is so absurd sometimes. Not sometimes, always. There is one last thing that I want to say. If you make some music, if you are a composer, if you create in any manner, I would recommend that you do it the best you can. That you don't work short, that you give your best, that you try, that you don't hide. Because, think a little, Mark Hollis was hiding at the end. When I say hiding, I mean he didn't want to have a public life as before. But fortunately, he had a career. Fortunately, he started somewhere. Fortunately, there was all these albums. Fortunately, he started with The Party's Over. Fortunately, he did a commercial album with It's My Life. Fortunately, he made an even more commercial album, which was The Color of Spring. And fortunately, he continued to make albums which were maybe less commercial, but that we still know. We know them. Fortunately, everything, all these things have been made and we know them. If he had been hiding from the very beginning, we wouldn't know that. We would be deprived of such an art and quality and genius. So, if you are creators, if you are composers, if you are artists, do your thing, do your stuff, don't hide, do your best, don't work short, try to improve all the time. Don't make something because it's easy. Make what you have in your guts. I'm not saying that we are all geniuses, that we are all going to succeed like Mark Hollis and Tok Tok. I'm not saying that. But if we don't try, if you don't try, nothing happens. And maybe we will be deprived of your art. So we must learn the lesson that Mark Hollis left behind him. He did what he had to do, and he did it really, really, really well. And we should honor this quality and do our best in what we are doing. It doesn't mean to copy him, of course. We can be inspired by him, of course. Himself was inspired by other people. That is creation. That was the first card that I found on the ground. I think it was a 7 diamond, if I remember well. And but I really like this side, that's why I glued it here. And here is written, I don't know if you see, art is the outside agitator. We make music because music makes us. I really like this quote. Yes, I'm not a musician myself, not really. But music made me. Music made my art. Even if I'm painting, music made me. So, I'm sorry for this not joyful video. I don't know what I'm going to do next as video. It's very difficult to release happy videos after that. Maybe I will have something else to say, but for now I think that's it. If you never heard Mark Hollis and Talk Talk, I suggest that you go and start listening to them. I'm not paid to say that. It doesn't go in my pocket, you know. It's just for the sake of the art, for the sake of the music. If you don't know Mark Hollis and Talk Talk, you missed something. You will see me very soon. I feel like a little alone now, even though he has never been here. He has never been here, but somehow he was like a muse, you know, like a mentor. Somehow he was around, and maybe I must keep him around in my mind. Okay, I see you very soon. Bye bye.